This video is going to show you a sweet solo GM farm that you can do in Pinnacle Ops. Let's go over it. So in Pinnacle Ops, which isn't going to be for much longer, so I apologize for that, but the extra bonus focus states, achieve grade B or higher for a chance to earn this reward, and it's mint Retrograde. Very important weapon to the game, and I'm going to go over the farm for it. Let me just quickly tell you the role that you should be chasing. Two different roles I recommend for this. Rewind rounds, elemental honing, rewind rounds, bait and switch, and I have both roles, and those are the most useful roles to me as a player. There are some other good roles on this, like one for all and stuff like that, but those, in my eyes, elemental honing and bait and switch tops all the other traits. That's for my personal preference. That suits my playstyle. And rewind rounds, if you didn't know, procs on each individual shot from Retrograde. So Retrograde shoots 3 bullets per 1 shot. This means you will barely reload. So if you're on 1 shot, it will reload to 6 shots. It will rewind rounds to 6 from 1 to 6. Do you understand it? This is why rewind is so incredibly, it's just incredible on this weapon. So I've recommended the role that you want to chase for it. Let's go over the farm itself. The game will be offline in maintenance whilst you watch this, so it's something that you can watch in the meantime. Retrograde might not be up at reset, although it might be, but it probably won't be. But anyways, I'm doing Starcrossed because I actually have been found Starcrossed, but I've never actually done a solo farm for Starcrossed. I've been doing all my videos for Kel's Fall, etc. And solo, a lot of solo ops and a lot of Kel's Fall. Now, the difference between solo Kel's Fall GM and solo Starcrossed GM is very similar between the two, but in my opinion, Kel's Fall is slightly better for the farm just because there's less RNG in it. And what I mean by that is Kel's Fall mechanics are structured so that it's the same every time you do it, whereas Starcrossed is not the same every time you do it. There are the last wish symbols are in Starcrossed, and it's RNG which symbols you get, and that does make the run annoying to farm a little bit, at least for me. So I'm just putting it out there. Kel's Fall's the better farm, but Mint Retrograde, if Mint Retrograde was on Starcrossed, you're better farming Starcrossed, because if you're lacking a Retrograde role, you absolutely need to go in Starcrossed. Yeah. If Retrograde was on Kel's Fall, oh well, you do Kel's Fall. If Retrograde was on Whisper, you do Whisper. Only for a few runs though. Whisper suffers because it's 1 completion reward. Kel's Fall and Starcrossed are 2. Couple of things on port before I go into this farm. It sorely needs a daily or weekly rotation shake-up. This is no good. By week 3 or week 4, if the Pinnacle Ops do not change, we are in massive issues with the game going forward. This needs addressed on the short-term basis. We cannot wait months for this to be changed, or even till September. It is too long to wait. They need to get this portal in line on refresh. And what I mean by that is, where is Presage? Where is 0 Hour? Where is Operation Seraph Shield? Where are all these exotic missions? They're in the game. They're in the game. Let me look at this. Where is it? Well, 0 Hour's in the game. It's here, look. Why is it not in the portal? Can anyone answer the question? We need this question answered. I would love to farm 0 Hour in the portal. Why is it not in the portal? Pinnacle solo ops isn't as bad because there's a plethora of solo ops. Fireteam ops is actually varied and does rotate quite a bit. You got Coil in there. Pinnacle ops is the problem. Crucible ops isn't a problem either. You got hardware, you got trials, you got comp. You got a lot going on in actual fact with Crucible. Pinnacle ops is the one that suffers. Pinnacle ops should have at least 6 different Pinnacle missions to pick from. Why is there only 3? Because it really limits it. It really limits it out. So I just thought I'd mention that. So the farm, my card. Now bear in mind I'm over 400 power. But you can apply some strats to this, whatever level you are. I can't apply to all your levels because some of you are 350, some of you are 280, some of you are 290, you know, all that stuff. But this is just something you can watch whilst the game is in maintenance mode and offline. I'm going for a B plus card because that is what Retrograde states. It's a B plus drop, and you will get base power drops and tier 4 armor. You will get there's a chance of getting tier 4 armor. Alright, so the card was, well, I've lost it. Damn it, I'm going to have to reapply it. Okay, this is what I had on. Solar Hunger, and we had the Solar Surge. That will reduce my score, but notice it's still B+. So I ran Solar Surge because I'm running a solar build, and I ran Solar Hunger. Yes, it pumps it up 10 power. It doesn't matter. It's OP, this mod. Let's read it. Your ability regeneration is reduced. Deal damage of the focus damage type to get a brief period of increased ability regeneration. Sounds bad, but it's not. This is not a negative modifier. This is a positive. If there are hunger mods and you start, these are GM exclusive. These are GM exclusive mods. I think there is a daily hunger and it swaps between like arc hunger, solar hunger. I think there might be strand hunger. I think so. I can't mind. But yeah, these elements do switch. But it's thankfully we've got solar hunger. And this is for Warlock. This is a build for Warlock. I mean, you can farm Starcrossed on any character, but we're going on Warlock. Now, I haven't got my stat distributions correct yet. Just a couple of takes on that. Super stat, I didn't realise, well, I do know, but I didn't know the massive gap between tier 2 stat and tier 7, 8, 9, 10. You want a minimum of tier 6 super at least. If you don't get any super energy. This feels horrible. It feels awful. You need at least tier 6 super in your build minimum for any build ever when you play solo. You preferably want 100 stat minimum for super. This is the most important, one of the most important stats in the game. So you need to prioritize it no matter what you're doing, because the ability regen rate is going to suck at tier 2 and 1. You're going to feel like you never get it. Class ability needs to be spec for on the build that I'm using right here. 100 class ability at least. But if you go a little bit higher than that, you'll get the overshield and it is beneficial. But you don't need 200 class ability, not at the moment. So 120, 130, 140 is fine. Weapon start at least 100 tier, at least, so that you get the 15% damage bonus. And it feels bad if you rock a low tier weapon stat. If you rock a tier 3 weapon stat, it feels horrible in the game. You need 100 minimum. Super, you want to creep that up. Grenades, you don't need to spec for it. Only if you are on an actual grenade build, you need to spec for grenades. And melee, you only need to spec for melee if you are on Banner of War, Titan, Wishful Ignorance, you know, or Grapple Melee Hunter, or some sort of melee build. Yeah, you need to spec for it. But on if your build is not centered around melee or grenade, don't spec for it. Spec for these three instead. And finally, health. Surprised me, but I've thought about this more and more over the last 2 days. You don't need you don't need any health at all. I would argue you probably only want tier 2 or 3 health. Health just doesn't need to be spec'd for, because if you've got health in your kit, it doesn't matter. And if you're on Prismatic, man, wow, you don't need any health at all. You want all these stats instead. So don't be worrying about health. I thought that I would need tier 6 or 7 health, but it's feeling to me that I don't need it. I mean, I've got 69 health stat right now, and I don't need that much. It's ironic it is 69, but I'm just giving you some advice on stats here, right? But these 3 stats are very important to the game no matter what build you're on. Okay, so you've had that. I'm using Unoia. A lot of you say you don't like it. I think Unoia has had a lot of racism in Edge of Fate, and I'm fed up of you putting him down. You know, he's been arrested a couple of times by the D2 Fun Police. Look, Unoia isn't the problem, you are. It's a fantastic exotic. Use it. There are maybe better solar exotics, yeah. Maybe Dawn Chorus is better, yes. Maybe Starfire Protocol is better, yes. But you know he is fantastic. If I was to rate it out of 10 right now with you, I would give it a 9 out of 10. I like it. I think it's fantastic. Can I say it's fantastic? Am I allowed to, or do I have to be racist towards it and say it's not good like the rest of you that jumped on that bandwagon? I ain't jumping on it. Alright, weapon wise, so I am using Retrograde. You're in a time paradox here, because I'm making you a Retrograde farm to farm Retrograde, but if you don't have Retrograde, then the farm's screwed for you, because I'm recommending that you use it. And you're like, well, how do I farm for it if I haven't got Retrograde? Well, you're screwed. You're in a time paradox. You have to go back. So you have to go in the future to get your Retrograde to then come back to then farm the Retrograde. I'm recommending a Retrograde for the Retrograde farm. This auto rifle is one of the best primary weapons in the game right now. It's unbelievably strong because of burning ambition. Get this auto rifle. It drops from solo ops, is it? I can't mind where it drops from. Is it solo ops? It drops from portal activities. And then finally DB. Dragon's Breath. DB is abbreviated for Dragon's Breath. Dragon's Breath's unbelievable, and it stuns unstoppable champions, and it's just an unbelievable exotic with my solo build. And I've got the strap for it. I'm on Solo Warlock. Now you're going to be thinking, why am I not on Prismatic? I'm not on Prismatic yet because I haven't got any builds locked in for it yet. Well, in actual fact, I have got some arm pieces and I need to go and build craft it, which I'm going to be focusing that this next week coming up after reset. I'm going to start downing some pieces and start building up my Prismatic lock. But don't bear in mind, I've got to build my Hunter up with some builds, and I've got to build Titan up. It's rough playing 3 classes, but this is what it is. Build is Song of Flame, Phoenix Dive, Celestial Fire, Solar Nade, Touch of Flame, Helion, Fragments are Ember of Solace, Ashes, Torches, Singeing is the big one. Make sure you have Singeing on. Armor mods are here. They are what they are. I'm not going through every single one. I'm not running any sort of build like where I'm running fonts or anything. I ain't running nothing. Don't need anything because I don't need to think about the run too deep, because the run's very easy for this because of the setup that I mentioned with the modifier Solar Hunger. This mod will make all your dreams come true, no matter your skill level. Especially if you're on Warlock, like if you're on a Solar Warlock, this mod will make your dreams come true. That's what it will do. Finally, artifact mods, because I get bashed for not showing you this. Here it is. Shield Crush this season is allowing you to basically get a bumping grenade stat when you otherwise wouldn't. That's why I'm saying grenade builds aren't prioritized, because Shield Crush is... It's covering the fact for if you have a low tier grenade stat, it doesn't matter, because Shield Crush will make up for that, providing that you are amplified or radiant in your kit. But I'm not saying that you won't want to run grenade builds. You will, but not for Unoia. It will be for other exotics like Getaway Artist, Rhymecoat Rymant, and so on and so forth. I think you get the picture. Radiant Shrapnel is OP this season. You use it. I'm using this. I'm using Elemental Daze. It's bugged. I'm using this. What else? Didn't benefit me. Fever and Chill does though. Solar Weapons grant Radiant. That's huge this season. But yeah, that's the build information on this On With The Run. So On With The Run. So one thing I forgot to mention, I had Airborne modifier on. So when you jump, you get increased damage. The card is still B+. I've just forgot to mention that. I had Airborne on, Solar Surge, and Solar Hunger. The opening section, I just work my way on the right-hand side and do the jumps. This probably would have been quicker with E-Grade Sword, and it would be, yeah. But, yeah, I'm using DB, Solar-centric build, etc. So you ready for the GTA 9 commentary, where we tell you exactly what we're doing and what not to do? So cover right-hand side, shoot this little leaf here. Then you're just going to make your way up here. There'll be double barriers. This is exactly what you do. Throw a Solar Nade at the barrier champ's feet. Then do a Phoenix Dive. Right-hand side, Solar Hunger, watch. Boom. Ability Surge for 20 seconds. Pay attention to class ability and super ability regeneration. Bottom left-hand corner. Keep going. Skip the sniper to my right and just keep going. If you get weak, do another Helion. and just keep going for that to top up your health if you need to. Ads don't hit that hard, depends on your card. If you're 40 power under, then they'll hit you quite harder than this, for sure. But yeah, just keep doing my Phoenix dives. I get that nice overshield, then they start to take away at my health. This sniper's annoying, but just skip, go for the buff. DB goes down at the VIP's target. Your only goal here is to kill the VIP, which is not the unstop, but the taken enemy. I do another Phoenix dive because I get sniped by that guy in my back. But that's fine. Nothing is threatening. Everything is calculated, coordinated. This is exactly why I've got solo hunger on, because I keep getting my Phoenix dive back, which means more health, more overshield, and more Helions. Right, look at the middle symbols. So you need to do that and look at what middle was as well, and establish if is it left mid right, right mid left, right left mid. So right now I think I need snake. I can't mind what the symbols was at the time when I'm doing this run, but I need snake right now. So going with DB, jump in the air for damage buff. When you stick a target with Dragon's Breath and jump in the air with the airborne mod on, Dragon's Breath will do enhanced damage. All damage will. People have been confused about this modifier, about airborne. Some people just think it's abilities or something. It's all damage. Now the airborne strat with Retrograde is OP as well, because the jump shot with Retrograde will do enhanced damage when airborne is on. All weapons will, but I'm talking to you about this because that's what I'm using. Okay, VIP jumps up, so it was right, left, mid. My symbols are right, left, mid. And just keep retrograding him. Try not to eat his shield, you lose damage. We're going with the Prox Ward finisher. That gives me my overshield. Don't bother killing any enemies at all. You will still get 10,000 score points, which is B+ for this run, because it's a B+ card. But it's a very low B+ card, isn't it? It's only just. It's not like it's a high B+, it's a low B+. So you will, in fact, just get B+, which is 2 base power drops, chance at tier 4 armor, and a chance at a mint retrograde at tier 4, or potentially tier 5 retrograde. It's possible. Once you get to 400 power plus rank Guardian rank 9, tier 5s drop more frequent than what they would have done at 350 power. Right, make our way to the next buff. That bit's done. This mission is showing you the next buff called Dam's Gift. Whoever that is, I'm not sure. But that just means you can go through the red cloudy areas. That's all that is. So just make your way through the jump puzzle like this. There you go. And that little bit there is a tutorial. Serve it as a tutorial. The game's saying, right, you need to use Dam's Gift for a buff. Now the game opens up and you've got 3 areas. Left, mid, right. Barrier mid, he follows you if you don't kill him. So I'm just going to kill him quickly. You don't need to, but he does follow you into the red zones if you don't. So it's just an observation. I don't want you getting sniped in the back. So I'll just quickly kill him. Right, DB goes on the Rivens. There's 3 Rivens to kill. So you do DB, Retrograde, or a rifle. You know here. Boom, he's dead. Let's move on. Let's get his gift. Let's steal his paracausal energies. And it's left, mid, right. Well, it's whatever rotation you want to do. It doesn't matter. But just be prepared. Have Dragon's Breath loaded before you go into them zones. The top location may be the most difficult for you because there's most ads in here, so just be careful. Recommendation, like I say, get DB on, get that damn overshield as soon as you can, and look, we just melt the Rivens. Yeah? And then we just go for this. If you get weak while skipping ads, just do your Phoenix Dive with Ability Surge. You will get a less than 10-second cooldown on your class ability. It's probably quicker than that with Ability Surge. It's unbelievably fast. Yes, Solar Starvation is on right now, but it's not a problem for this build because I'm a solar-centric build anyways. Right, final Riven. A lot of snipers in this room, be careful. He tries to John Cena me. These Rivens have been watching a lot of WWE this season. The increased amount of John Cena jumps that they are doing lately is a lot. But did you see how I stopped his move? The ignition stops that move because it provides a bit of stun lock. Ignition is tied to stun lock damage. And it has had a bit of a rework since last season. But yeah, Solar's OP because of stunlock damage and stuff. Get rid of that barrier. You need to kill all the barriers in this section. You can't skip. DB goes on the sniper. Then we're just going to melt with Retrograde. There we go. Riven in middle. I'm not popping super yet. I'm waiting. There we go. John Cena again. He's watching Monday Night Raw. The Rivens. They're encapsulated by Monday Night Raw. So, yeah, the Vex have discovered cable TV. I don't know. Get rid of the boss. Super him. That's what you do. Chest there spawns. Forget about it. You can get it later on in the Postmaster. And then just make your way. This is where you will get your deaths. For players who are struggling with the jumps, you're a bit of a clampet with your jumps. You know, there's a couple of... I would say hunters are probably one of the best classes for like players who are good with their jumps. But the warlock's weakness is jumps. There's a couple of warlocks out there, lead-footed. I've played with them in LFG. Some lead boot warlocks out there, and that's where you die right here. I've seen it time and time again. And then you're dragging them to the next CP because you can't get the res. Because then they're stealing 30 seconds off your farm. So you've got to weigh it up. You just got to let them drag their res to next CP, get their res up. And that's what happens. Often warlocks dying in that little bit. That's just an observation of the last 2 weeks. Right, I'm going to proc ability surge twice. Look, that's the first one. You can skip ads here, but there's a nice little strat. So I could skip these ads, but I'm not going to. Look, watch this. Ability surge runs out. I'm going to re-proc it. Solar Starvation procs. Solar Nade. Look at the Solar Nade chunk. That's why I'm running Solar Nade. Well, Solar Nade's OP anyways. But Solar Nade chunks Solar Starvation bar very fast. So look at this. Look at the timing on this. I've got that impeccable timing. Yeah? I've got a Russian pocket watch on me. Look at this. Look at that. Just get the super just in time. Solar Starvation kicks in. But I'm going to get my super because I recommend that you super right here. Because it allows you to skip all these ads. And you can skip them and still get the score. Kill these two barriers because they snipe you in the back and I don't like it. So just get rid of them because you've got a Song of Flame anyways. Get rid of them quickly as you're going through. Right, pick up buff straight away. Dam's Gift, but you need the big buff. On this section you need 2 buffs to make a new buff. Let's see what its name is. It Crowned by Dragons? Here we go. Memory serves me right. Right, I've got Bird, Dragon and Fish. Bird, Dragon, Fish. So Bird's middle for me. And then Dragon is right. And I think Fish is left or whatever. So mid first, DB goes in, melts him. Look, little work. This is why I'm showing you this farm, because there's a little work to it. There's not a lot. Refresh buff after VIP is being killed. Only kill the VIP. Don't kill any other ads. You will still get the score rating, even if you do it like this. When you're under leveled, it's even more likely that you'll get it. The score, that is. Pinnacle Ops and Solo Ops are completely different on score grades. Maybe that'll be a video down the road, but Solo Ops needs more attention for score grading. Pinnacle Ops needs less attention for score grading. Again, I'll elaborate that on a video down the roads at some point. Right, we have a wizard. I don't know where the VIP is, but look, I'm planning to super. That's all pre-planned to get an overshield with Helion, with the Phoenix Dive, and then I was trying to find him. I didn't know what he was hiding behind a rock. He was hiding behind a rock. DB goes in, finish him off. Use your super, by the way, because you're going to get it back. The downside to this Pinnacle farm is there's only 1 banner. Kel's Fall has 3 banners, right? Is it 3 banners or 2? I can't mind if it's 3 or 2. Kel's Fall has more banners. That's one downside to this. This is the farm, right? This is the farm. DB goes in, jump in the air, Helion goes in. Retrograde damage. Do your retrograde damage now. Don't pop super yet. Hold off. Hold off. Now when the ads spawn in, pop super, because the ads will make the boss immune. But now we've nearly killed the boss. So this is a solo 1 cycle on this boss. Look, very fast. That's because of Airborne and Solar Surge stacking together with DB. Song of Flame melts the boss. Look, score grading is 10k points. I get my card at full points. That's your Retrograde farm. That's your Pinnacle Ops farm. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.